Open Cup Round 2 reactions, Stalemate Central this past weekend, the championship, and some appearances and wins records to talk about. Welcome to All Talk, all USL Talk. USL covering the latest scores, news, and developments. The second highest division in the United States men's professional soccer system, the USL Championship. I am your host, as always, Vince Galvano. Happy April, happy Monday, Easter Monday, April 6, 2026, episode number 83. I think it's episode 7 of season 3 of Talk USL. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a really nice weekend. Maybe taking a long weekend. A lot of vacations taking place this weekend, including for myself. Had the opportunity to visit another country here in beautiful Europe. This time it was Austria and Vienna. So just getting back into the swing of things after a little bit of a nice long weekend there. Really enjoyed it. Had some really nice weather too. Delicious food. Some Wiener Schnitzel, of course. Taking into the sights, enjoying a little bit of the renaissance of the beautiful Vienna. It's a great place. I highly recommend it. But getting back to things here in the USL Championship, man, oh man, this was a very interesting weekend for a lot of reasons. Now we only have 4 teams left, still undefeated, to kick off the 2026 season after 5 weeks in the USL Championship. We're going to talk, obviously, Open Cup Round 2 reaction. We did pretty well USL Championship sides. We also had some, rivalries. The Commonwealth Cup. We had also the Derby del Camino Real between El Paso and New Mexico. That was really a landslide victory for one of those two sides. But what was really interesting, looking at appearances and wins records this weekend, we had the 6th manager to reach the landmark of 100 wins in the USL Championship. You don't want to miss that. That was a big matchup this past weekend. And then 2 players making their 200th USL Championship appearances in the same contest with opposing sides. Who are they? We're going to recap that and much more. Player of the Month March nominees are out. We'll kick off the show discussing that. But man, oh man, so much to get into, as I always love to say. If you're following for the first time, we are at Talk USL across all social media platforms. TalkUSLChampionship@gmail.com for any inquiries. If you want to reach out, talk about your team, ask a couple questions, you know where to find me. But yeah, we are everywhere podcasts are. Let's get into it. Take a look at the timestamps, by the way, just in case you want to skip around and want to get to the championship, or you just want to cover Open Cup round. It's all there for you. First and foremost, though, last week, the USL Championship announced the nominees for the USL Championship Player of the Month, which is presented by none other than Konami eFootball. If you have gaming anywhere on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, check it out. eFootball is a lot of fun to play. I've been playing it a lot recently, more so than FC on my side. Really enjoy it, and the USL Championship is in the game, which is a lot of fun to see. But 4 players, an El Paso player, a Louisville player, a Miami player, and a Hartford player. Starting first with Hartford, Anthony Sia, the Cameroonian shot stopper, tied for a team high with 16 saves across 4 appearances, posting 2 shutouts and a save percentage, just over 84% for Hartford in an undefeated month of March. Arnie Roja is for Miami. The Colombian newcomer recorded 2 goals, 2 assists to lead Miami into the top 4 of the Eastern Conference at the end of the month. Also recording 9 shots, 4 chances created, and ranking 3rd in the league with a plus 1.54 goals added mark. You'll be familiar with this name, Jansen Wilson from Louisville City, the local product, recording 2 goals and 2 assists for his part for Louisville. Recording a perfect month while ranking 3rd in the league with 13 shots, recording 7 chances created, and completing 88 passes with a 78.6% accuracy rate. And the El Paso man himself, the Guatemalan forward who transferred in the offseason from Charleston, now playing for El Paso, the Guatemalan international Rubio Rubin, recording 3 goals and 1 assist in 3 games for Locomotivo, recording 5 shots and 3 chances to lead the side to an undefeated month. The award winner and complete voting results will be announced this Thursday, April 9. In case you don't know, don't forget the fan vote, which had concluded yesterday on Easter Sunday, will comprise 51% of the vote. The rest of the vote is taken care of by the USL Technical Committee, who comprises 25% of the weighted average, and as well as the USL National Media Panel's ballots that comprise 24% of the poll. So very interested to see out of those 4 players who will be the first player of the month this 2026 season. Let's talk about the Open Cup round 2, and we'll talk about also the fact that USL Championship sides fared really well across the first round and second round. We only had one USL Championship side that fell to a lower division side. Not going to name any names, Loudon. We'll get into that match against Richmond Kickers. But otherwise, we did pretty well from USL Championship standpoint. But we had a lot of derby matches, including a landslide victory for El Paso at the University of New Mexico Soccer Complex when New Mexico United hosted El Paso Locomotive. It was a tight, balanced rivalry. I mean, an all-time record, El Paso leads with 6 wins, 7 draws, and 8 losses. In the last 5 meetings, El Paso have been unbeaten. 3 wins, 2 draws. So these are typically tight games, often decided by, late goals, 1 goals, big moments, and so forth. But these are back-to-back Open Cup meetings. El Paso knocking out New Mexico last year. So it's a very, very tight affair. And this time around, El Paso just keeps the momentum going. New Mexico, they did start bright, created some early chances through Jake LaCava and Dayon Harris, but they could not find the breakthrough, and El Paso made them pay in the 37 minutes as Quezada, assisted by Omar Mora, finished clinically in the top corner to give the visitors a 1-0 lead into the halftime. And then, unfortunately, a red card shifted the derby for New Mexico. It was Usman Jabang's red card in the 59th minute that would have New Mexico play for more than a half an hour with 10 men. And then from there on, El Paso took full control, and it happened from Alex Mendez from the spot, not the penalty spot, but a free kick. The dead ball specialist himself doubled the lead with a free kick in the 63rd minute. Beautiful, because he was feinting across. They set up for a cross, 35 yards out, a little bit left side, and instead he knuckles it, keeping the keeper off balance, and boom, just like you have it, the goal started to pour in. Rubio Rubin added a third just 6 minutes later in the 70th minute, and then pretty much Eric Calvillo coming off the bench, capping off a nice performance himself, 86th minute, sealing a 4-0 victory, sending El Paso through in emphatic fashion. It was a statement win for sure for El Paso on the road in a derby, knockout play, back-to-back years, complete control once they seized momentum, but that really came from that red card for New Mexico. But New Mexico bounced back over the weekend. That's the good news. We'll cover them more when we talk about the USL Championship games. The other one was the Commonwealth Cup, and Lou City also asserting their dominance in this one. Lexington hosting Lou City at Lexington SC Stadium. This is obviously a match that was the first match of this year's campaign. Louisville, though, once again proving too much for Lexington, controlling large stretches in a composed 2-0 victory. The breakthrough coming in the 23rd minute as Babacar Nyang reacted quickest to a loose ball in the box following a Jansen Wilson free kick, poking home his first goal for the club to settle Louisville after early pressure from the hosts. This was just 6 minutes into the second half. Tola Shawunmi double the lead, cleverly redirecting a shot from Mukwele Akale to wrong foot the goalkeeper and making it 2-0. So Lou City improving to a 5-0 all-time record against Lexington, asserting clear dominance in this matchup. Shawunmi continuing his strong Open Cup form with a well-taken goal. But Louisville missing a step after the coaching change. Not so much. Simon Bird, the assistant coach, doing very much, or used to be the assistant coach when Danny Cruz was in charge. Obviously, they switched Danny Cruz now in the MLS. But things are looking great for Louisville. If anything, they look sharper. Now 6-0 across all competitions and still setting the standard in the league. But that changed this past weekend. We'll talk more about that in the USL Championship. But so far, so good leading up to that from March and from the Open Cup for them. Rhode Island taking on Hartford at Centerville Bank Stadium. Rhode Island coming out sharp, making their mark early in this one. The 12th minute, Eldar Sanchez, who finished acrobatically after a clever header assist from J.J. Williams off a Kevin Van corner. The hosts double the lead through J.J. Williams himself. Another set piece, Williams followed up his own saved header to bury the rebound and make it 2-0 heading into halftime. And Galena coming back for Hartford here. The Nigerian denied a one-on-one goalkeeping opportunity between Koke Vegas and Galena. And boom, it was a later effort that was dramatically cleared off the line by Frank Nodarcy. Rhode Island holding firm, 2-0. Set pieces decided, and this one's the first loss for Hartford in the 2026 campaign. So a statement result from Rhode Island as Hartford experienced their first loss, but still looking okay in the championship. We'll talk more on their match against Miami from this past weekend in the championship. Colorado Springs taking on Spokane Velocity. This one at Weiner Field would head into penalties, but it was Talon Maples who got Colorado the lead in the 45th minute. Booth would level it with 2 minutes to go in regulation time for Spokane. And boom, we would head to penalty kicks. And just like that, Colorado advanced quite comfortably in a 4-2 win. It was Corey Bennett who converted the penalty to start things off. Then a penalty was saved from Christian Herrera. Adrian Perez stepped up for Colorado to put it home. And then a double back-to-back save. Simon Fitch was denied again by Christian Herrera. So 2 saves in this one from Herrera. Taylor Maples could have, secured the deal, but he missed. Then Marky Hernandez scored for Spokane. Yosuke Hanya putting the ball there. Andre Lewis scored as well. And then it was actually, in the end, to seal the deal, Mazareka for Colorado, converting the penalty with a right-footed shot to the bottom left corner. Colorado advanced 4-2 on penalties against Spokane. Talking about San Antonio and Tulsa now, this one would also go to extra time, but not to penalties because just 17 seconds into the second period of extra time, Remy Cabral capitalized on a turnover in San Antonio's defensive third, rounding the goalkeeper, finishing from a narrow angle on the right. The Scissortails from there were able to see out the result and advance as San Antonio had only recorded 4 shots on target throughout the contest. The USL Championship sides offered little in the way of the attacking, opening 90 minutes, recording each just 1 shot on target apiece before the game went into extra time. San Antonio was reduced to 10 players early on when Akeem Ward received his second yellow card, giving the FC Tulsa players, an advantage that they were able to capitalize on. And Remy Cabral scored the only goal in the 106th minute to lift FC Tulsa to a place in the round of 32 at Toyota Field, winning on the road here. Orange County taking on Phoenix. This one would also go into extra time. A lot of late goals in this one too, including an equalizer from OC, but Phoenix did find the net first through Stutenhoft, who capitalized on high pressure to win the ball in the 35th minute, calmly finished into an open net, giving Rising a deserving lead into the halftime. But the door swung wide open in the 86th minute. Usman Sila, assisted by Yaniv Manzini, drove the ball into the box, slotted home for the equalizer to force extra time. And when it looked like momentum had shifted, Phoenix delivered the knockout blow. In the 96th minute, it was Vukovic who was highest on a corner from Isan Sako and powered a header home to seal a dramatic 2-1 victory and send Rising through at Championship Soccer Stadium. Richmond Kickers taking on Loudoun at City Stadium. It was Luca Dorado who scored in the 6th minute of second half stoppage time, a dramatic victory and the dying moments to send the USL League One club Richmond Kickers past USL Championship side Loudoun and into the round of 32 for that one. So really solid stuff there. I mean, if you're Richmond Kickers fans, if you were at the game at City Stadium, what a opportunity you had to witness there. Loudoun, the only team for the USL Championship who couldn't make it past a USL League One side in the tournament. Flint City Bucks taking on Detroit at Don Bachelor Field. Detroit on the road here. It was Alex DeLo's beautiful long-range strike that proved the difference as Detroit secured its passage to the round of 32 with a victory against League Two's Flint City Bucks there. The rest of the matches that we should talk about was Chattanooga taking on Tennessee Tempo. They won 1-0. Vermont Green and Westchester went to penalties, but Westchester came out as victors there. And that was pretty much it for the second round of the U.S. Open Cup. Let's talk about what happens next. Well, mark your calendars, Tuesday, April 14 and Wednesday, April 15. The matches are heating up in the U.S. Open Cup. This time we'll get some MLS sides into the mix as we enter the round of 32, starting first with 7 p.m. on Paramount Plus, New England taking on Rhode Island on Tuesday, April 14. Rhode Island will take on New England in a Northeastern clash that is set to be played in Providence, Rhode Island. We'll see what happens there. Louisville City taking on Austin FC, 7 p.m. Paramount and CBS Sports Networks. Defending Players Shield winners, Louisville will play host to Austin at Lynn Family Stadium in a clash between two sides that met earlier this year in preseason, mind you. That match resulted in a narrow 1-0 win for Austin FC. Detroit will host Chicago Fire FC at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, April 14th. That match also on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Golazo Network. All these matches are available on Paramount Plus, just an FYI. Westchester will take on New York City FC on Tuesday, April 14th as well. Colorado Springs Switchbacks hosting Sporting Kansas City at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on Tuesday. We'll also have Colorado Rapids taking on Union Omaha at 9:30 p.m. and Sacramento Republic hosting Minnesota United FC at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Golazo Network. The 2022 Open Cup finalists, Republic, will take on and host Minnesota United as it looks to make another deep run in the competition. Wednesday, April 15th, this is when things get interesting with defending USL Championship title winner Pittsburgh Riverhounds visiting the New York Red Bulls at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Paramount Plus as it looks to earn an upset of a top-flight club for the second consecutive tournament after defeating the other New York City team in the MLS. Well, talking to New York City FC a season ago, New York Red Bulls taking on Pittsburgh this time around. Last edition, you recall, New York Red Bulls took on Colorado Springs, so it's the second year in a row that they're taking on the defending USL Championship champions, so that should be very interesting. St. Louis City will take on FC Tulsa at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on Paramount Plus. Houston Dynamo taking on El Paso Locomotive at the same time. El Paso Locomotive taking a nice all-Texas clash here with a visit to Houston. Elsewhere, the last game featuring a USL Championship side taking place on Wednesday is San Jose Earthquakes, hosting Phoenix Rising FC at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Paramount Plus and CBS Sports Golazo Network, the television providers there. FC Naples take on Orlando City on Wednesday as well. Chattanooga FC will take on Atlanta United FC. Richmond Kickers will take on Columbus Crew. Charlotte FC will take on the Charlotte Independence in the Charlotte Derby. And DC United will take on one Knoxville. Those games all at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, despite only FC Naples and Orlando. That takes place at 7 p.m. And that's pretty much it. I should mention USL Players Association ongoing protest, obviously not playing the first minute. This carried into the U.S. Open Cup. It did not stop at league play. So across the country, the players showed up together with one clear purpose: standing with the players in the fight for professional standards as the collective bargaining agreement between the Players Association and the USL still ongoing. Hashtag stand up for the standards. And it's going to be very interesting because it happened again this weekend. Let's see if it comes to a conclusion. If not, MLS teams or not, it'll be very interesting to see if in these, USL Championship against MLS sides, if there will also be a minute of silence of protest in those matches. That should be very, very interesting to help, spread the word and awareness, not just across the lower divisions, but in the highest division of the United States Men's Professional Soccer System, the MLS. Goal of the week, we'll talk USL Championship now. Remember, only 4 teams remain unbeaten, but always want to talk as well goal of the week as we typically do. Sebastian Cruz taking this in a landslide himself, 68% of the fan vote in the Tampa Bay Rowdies versus Loudoun match from March 28th. It was the 25-year-old Cruz's first goal in the USL Championship, a stunner picking out the top right corner of the net from top of the penalty area, and the Rowdies' third consecutive win. You also had Ulfarsson. In that one, the Icelandic striker did produce a nice free kick, but he only got 9% of the vote. So Sebastian Cruz, the winner there. Elsewhere, you had Sam Bassett for Pittsburgh against Sporting Jacks on March 28th. And you also had Aaron Malloy in the Lexington-Brooklyn match, but not winning a lot of the vote there. So Sebastian Cruz is your Week 4 USL Championship Fans' Choice Goal of the Week. As I said, Stalemate Central. Putting that in the title of this episode as well, because we had 6 draws out of 11 contests over Easter weekend. But there was some also decisive victories, starting first with the headline matchup, Louisville hosting Charleston in an Eastern Conference clash that is just always managing to make headlines for all the right reasons, usually. Which team is asserting dominance in this one? Well, we break some records for starters. We'll talk this one. Battery taking the lead in the 20th minute when Jeremy Kelly chased down a ball over on the top of the left side of the field, inventively just lifting, keeping the ball in play, a looping cross, just kind of dropping very nicely into the box. And it was Laurent Casadu who just hit it off the volley. Hugo Farou was complaining the ball was out over the line, Louisville City keeper, but that just pretty much led Louisville to ignore the play as a whole. Great contact from Casadu, giving the Battery the lead in the 20th minute. Charleston carrying its lead into the break, then doubling the advantage with 25 minutes to go as a deep cross from the right after a corner kick clearance was delivered by Emilio Icaza. It was interesting in this one because the ball also looped, it swerved, it was rainy conditions, it almost looked like it went out too, and instead headed back across the goal by Joey Okpununu and swept home by Pakumov. It looked as the ball went out again. It was just funny to see that. Kind of two similar goals for Charleston in this one. Lou City almost pulling a goal back off a corner kick themselves 9 minutes later, only for Chris Donovan's close range finish to be parried away by Zamudio. Charleston's shot stopper made another key late save to deny Donovan and seal the side's victory. Casadu, Pakumov taking a 2-0 victory against Louisville at Lynn Family Stadium to earn their first road win against Lou City in club history and bring Lou City's 6-game winning streak to the start of the season across all competitions to an end. And a big congratulations to talk about records. Ben Pierman of Charleston Battery, the coach, on the sidelines, reaching his 100th USL Championship win, the 6th coach to do so. Congratulations to himself. Big takeaway for Battery as they rebounded from a tough 7 days with an outstanding road performance that saw them make the most of their big opponents, as well as big opportunities here. It was not the nicest of days in Kentucky, but the job got done. Lou City suffering defeat for the first time this season, as well as the first time in Simon Bird's reign, after the departure of Danny Cruz, ending that 6-game winning streak. 26 home regular season undefeated streak as well, and 20-game regular season undefeated streak. As it was Zamudio coming up with the key saves to hold the hosts scoreless, as well as Casadu and Pakumov getting the goals there. So what a win for Charleston, and just more records being shattered for both ends, for good ones, for bad ones from Louisville City side. But hey, congratulations to Ben Pierman on 100 wins as a USL Championship coach. El Paso taking on Las Vegas as we continue getting into the other contests. Moreno on fire. El Paso edging this one in a 5-goal thriller. They came out striking early first. It was Amando Moreno assisted by Robert Coronado, controlling a lofted ball over the top and finishing calmly past the keeper to open the scoring. Las Vegas responded with a goal of their own in the 23rd minute to Christian Pinzon, who tucked home a finish off of Benzmai's efforts to level things. But El Paso regained control before halftime with Rubio Rubin heading home a well-worked sequence, which involved Daniel Gomez and Alex Mendez to make it 2-1 heading into the break. The host, El Paso, wasted no time extending their lead. Just 3 minutes into the second half, Moreno grabbed his second of the night, sliding in at the back post to finish a low cross from Ricky Ruiz. Las Vegas pushed back again and found a lifeline in the 60th minute, cutting the deficit into half, with Johnny Rodriguez, assisted by Atanoglu, powered home a header, Rodriguez, in this one from a corner. But El Paso held firm. They would get the 3 goals, 3 points, as I like to say. El Paso has now scored multiple goals in every match this season across all competitions. And that's just kudos to the work of the El Paso head coach, Junior Rodriguez. Props to him because he's really making El Paso one of the most informed teams in the league right now. It's hard to argue otherwise. They are one of the only teams, like I said, only 4 remaining now undefeated across regular season. And El Paso's 4 straight league wins, goals flowing, confidence sky high. This team is rolling. Indiana, Indy 11 taking on Pittsburgh Riverhounds at Michael A. Carroll Stadium. Ironic, there's no such things as coincidences Two players making their USL Championship 200th appearance in this one for both sides, starting first with Jack Blake. That's right. It was his 100th Indy 11 match, as well as his 200th USL Championship appearance. And then you also had, from the Riverhound side of things, Robbie Mertz. That's right. Tonight's appearance marked his 200th regular season USL Championship for the Pittsburgh native. This milestone moment, a huge one for himself and for the club, without a doubt. But ironically, it's Jack Blake that makes the headlines in this one because it was a first half penalty where he would, in the 20th minute, give the host Indy 11 a deserved 1-0 lead. And it was his 27th club goal, a franchise tying record, converting his 11th straight penalty in his 100th Indy 11 match and his 200th USL Championship match. There's so much headlines that it's hard to keep the flow going. Eamon Zayed is the other player, the Irish international, who had 27 goals in his career when playing for Indy 11. But Blake's finish wasn't just important, it was important for a lot of reasons, including those records that I mentioned. But just when Carroll Stadium was ready to celebrate, Elliot Goldthorpe struck in stoppage time, Pittsburgh Rounds player, to break Indy hearts, salvage a 1-1 draw for Pittsburgh despite a strong defensive showing and a standout night from goalkeeper Eric Dick. Indy couldn't quite see it out, so a tied matchup and tied for, obviously, the 200th appearance landmark for both sides, both players there. Rhode Island taking on Detroit. This was a stalemate. Even though Rhode Island dominated the stat sheet, couldn't find a breakthrough. The hosts racked up a 14-4 advantage in shots. They consistently pinned Detroit back in this one, but Detroit's best look was a Darren Smith header. Who else but Darren Smith, who's been on form, denied by a sharp save from Koke Vegas. The man of the match in this one, though, was the 26-year-old central midfielder for Rhode Island, Clay Holstad. Really had a solid night all around. 9 defensive contributions, 6 tackles, 8 out of 10 ground duels won, and an 88% passing accuracy on the night with 43 out of 49 passes successful. 4 chances created as well, and 69 touches across the entire match. So props to Clay Holstad there. Always quite consistent for Rhode Island. What's interesting from the Detroit City side of things, although he did not appear on the bench in this one nor in the roster, but Brazilian attacking midfielder Rafa Mensingen, you remember him? Yep. Well, Detroit announced on Wednesday they had signed him to a 1-year contract. He arrives in Detroit, obviously, with a track record as an attacking midfielder and forward in the American professional ranks. Look no further than North Carolina, where he produced double-digit goal contributions in both the 2023 USL League One season and the 2024 USL Championship season before seeing his past campaign curtailed mid-season by injury. 29-year-old had previously turned professional with Lansing Ignite back in USL League One in 2019 before competing for Memphis 901 FC when they were a franchise in the USL Championship and Chattanooga Red Wolves in League One. So he earned 2 USL League One Player of the Month honors in his time. And across his career, Mensingen has recorded 28 goals and 18 assists in 105 appearances in League One, while recording 11 goals and 7 assists in 63 appearances in the championship. So hopefully he keeps himself fit. Rafa Mensingen now playing for Le Rouge in Detroit. Sporting Jacks taking on Tampa Bay Rowdies. Well, it was a last gasp winner for Tampa in this one. Although the host, Sporting Jacks, nearly struck first in the opening half, Yaskalainen couldn't convert from close range under pressure. Tampa Bay controlled the tempo. They hit the woodwork twice through Cruz and Marco Micheletto. But the match remained scoreless, so it was looking like it was going to be over, done, 0-0, another 0-0, another stalemate. But in the 90th plus 5th minute, Evan Conway rose highest to head home a perfectly delivered cross by Charlie Ostrem, sealing a dramatic 1-0 victory for the visitors in this Florida derby. Late game execution working well for Tampa Bay. Jacksonville now still searching, another tough loss for a side that showed defensive resilience but lacked that cutting edge. Evan Conway, the former North Carolina player himself, coming off a bench to deliver the decisive mode, scoring the game winner with his only shot and continuing his strong run of goal contributions, as well as embracing that super sub element that he has now to himself. So the Rowdies finding ways to win different types of games. It wasn't pretty, but grinding out a late winner is exactly what top teams do. Tampa are one of the other sides at the moment that are still undefeated across championship play. Monterey Bay taking on San Antonio at Cardinale Stadium. Monterey Bay announced prior to this one, though, on Tuesday that they have found a Ivorian midfielder from Feyenoord. That's right, on loan from Eredivisie club Feyenoord for the remainder of the 2026 season. It's Kevin Nadje. That's right, the 21-year-old who joined Feyenoord back in June 2024. He made his debut soon after on August 25th versus Sparta Rotterdam, recording appearances in both the Eredivisie and the UEFA Champions League during his first season in the Netherlands. During his time with the first team, Nadje was coached by current Feyenoord head coach, former Premier League champion Robin van Persie. Head coach Jordan Stewart from Monterey Bay saying, bringing Kevin Nadje into Monterey Bay is a massive statement for us as a club. He's a player who's been developed in one of the top environments in Europe and now has a chance to contribute to us here in the USL Championship. But it was a 0-0 stalemate at Cardinale Stadium. San Antonio continuing its unbeaten start to the season. The hosts did create better chances in the first half. Omari Glasgow and Georgi Lamtadze both testing the goalkeeper Richard Sanchez, who stood firm to keep things level heading into halftime. Second half, San Antonio looked to find a breakthrough of their own, with Arafeev coming closest from distance, but clear chances remain limited. Monterey Bay pushed late substitute Wesley Leggett, forced a strong save from Sanchez in the closing stages after bringing that burst of energy off from the bench, but neither side could find the decisive moment. So San Antonio, though, recording a fourth consecutive shutout, considering that solid defensive, rock-solid start, say. Thiago Suarez for San Antonio, dominant at the back, completing 65 of 69 passes while adding 8 clearances and 6 recoveries in a composed defensive display. It was your mob man in the match as well with the 7.8 rating. But yeah, 0-0 for this one, and Monterey Bay is still searching for their first win of the season. Orange County taking on New Mexico United. New Mexico United bouncing back after the landslide loss against El Paso in the Open Cup. New Mexico under penalty in the 32nd minute, and it was Neil Reed-Steven stepping up to calmly convert, slotting his effort to the left side of the net, sending the Orange County goalkeeper the wrong way to give the visitors a 1-0 lead. And that was pretty much do it, as New Mexico would take the only goal of the game and get all those 3 points, I should say, in this one. So a kind of win that hopefully builds momentum after a tough Open Cup loss. Grinding out a result like this shows some resilience that hopefully can carry forward for New Mexico. They announced on Thursday that they signed center back Tyler Blackett for the remainder of the 2026 season. Blackett joining New Mexico, having recently most competed for Rotherham United in the 2023-24 EFL Championship season, where he recorded 16 appearances across 2 seasons. The 32-year-old had previously come through the Manchester United Academy, making 11 appearances for the club in the Premier League, while also competing previously in the United States for FC Cincinnati in Major League Soccer. Sacramento taking on Phoenix at Hard Health Park. Sacramento wasted no time asserting control, striking early through 18-year-old Blake Willie in the 10th minute. The homegrown talent latching on to a cutback from Forster Ajago and fired a first-time finish into the corner for his first professional goal. 14 minutes later, Sacramento doubling the lead from the German Dominik Wagner, assisted by Michel Benitez, slipping into the box, calmly making it 2-0. Rising tried to get back into the second half, coming closest when Darius Johnson's effort was cleared off the line, and later when Charlie Dennis missed a headed opportunity from close range. But Sacramento getting an early knockout punch with 2 goals in the opening half an hour. And Phoenix slow start continuing as they conceded early in the game and remain winless through 5 league matches. Miami taking on Hartford. Another stalemate, 0-0 match in this one. Some heat, some heroics per se, but from Eloy Room side of things, Miami and Hartford played out a hard-fought 0-0. Hartford threatened from a set piece before Miami came inches away in stoppage time, but this one would end 0-0 as both teams would have to split the points there. In addition to splitting the points, talk Widener Field. Colorado taking on Lexington. Late penalty denying Lexington as the switchbacks can say steal a point in this one. 11 minutes in, it was Xavier Zengwe who opened his account for the season for Lexington, tapping home at the back post after a slick assist from Marcus Epps to give Lexington the perfect start. From there, the game shifted. Colorado Springs ramped the pressure in the second half. Finally paid off in the 7th minute when Corey Bennett, getting a penalty kick, converting from the spot, to save the point for the hosts in this one and ensure that they don't come out on the losing end for Colorado. Bennett doing quite well from the spot as well as scoring in the shootout that took place midweek against Spokane in the Open Cup. Loudoun and Birmingham, the last match to cover from this past weekend. Also late penalty drama in this one, but this had a lot of everything. Goals, momentum swings, and some controversy. Loudoun United and Birmingham Legion at Segra Field. Birmingham striking first in the 16th minute through Tyler Pasher. It was really nice counterattack play from Birmingham Legion. Played some really nice football in this one. Loudoun responded, though, in the 31st minute with James Murphy leveling things before halftime. Legion regained control in the early second half when Pasher himself grabbed his second of the night, scoring a brace to make it 2-1. From there, it looked like Birmingham might see it out. Loudoun, though, kept pushing and persistence paid off in the 7th minute when Ordonez converted from the penalty spot to make it 2-2. Final minutes of this one brought chaos, including some penalty shots and rising tension, but neither side could find a winner in this one. It was a disputed penalty, but one that had shifted the outcome late on in favor of Loudoun to get the point. Tyler Pasher, though, has been looking really, really well so far for Birmingham. He was clinical in the night with a brace, consistently finding space and finishing chances to put Birmingham into control, not once, but 2 times throughout the contest in this one. So Birmingham, though, dropping 2 points here, yeah, I think so. I think leading twice, creating the better chances. They're still trying to find a little bit of an edge. Still trying to find that first win, including Loudoun too. So it was an area where both teams might feel that they could have done something, especially for the Birmingham side after having the lead twice in this one. But nonetheless, they'll split the points and are both still searching for their first win of the season. Let's talk how things are in the table side of things. Well, we'll start Eastern Conference at the bottom of it. Sporting Jacks, Rhode Island, Loudoun, and Birmingham still have not yet to find a W in that win column. Sporting Jacks at the bottom of things with 5 matches played, only 1 point, 1 draw, 4 losses. 2 points for Rhode Island, as well as Loudoun and Birmingham from the first 4 matches. In 9th place, you have Brooklyn with 3 points, 1 win, and 4 losses, back-to-back losses for Brooklyn. They had a bye this past weekend, but still a win in the win column. Indy 11, finishing off that 8th place spot there, so just the playoff lock spot. They have 5 points from their opening 4 contests, 1 win, 2 draws, and they haven't lost since March 8th, I think it was, or March 7th against Brooklyn in the season opener for them. Pittsburgh, the defending champions, find themselves in 7th place with 7 points, tied with Detroit. Although Detroit have a game in hand over Pittsburgh, both are on 7 points, as I mentioned. Top 5 in the Eastern Conference is Miami FC with 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss to start the season. Haven't lost since their opener against Lou City in mid-March, so they're currently on form, you could say. Hartford also on form, despite losing their first game of the 2026 campaign in Open Cup. Still, in the championship, they remain quite perfect and undefeated. One of the 4 teams undefeated, still surviving there. Charleston Battery, after the win against Louisville City, put themselves with 9 points from 4 matches played, tied in 3rd with Hartford. And then top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. 2nd place is the Tampa Bay Rowdies with 12 points from 4 matches, and then also with 12 points from 5 matches is Louisville City as well. So there you have it. Very, very interesting stuff. Louisville currently leading on the Eastern Conference side, but Tampa have a game in hand. Same amount of points. From the Western side, top of the bin, this is how things look. San Antonio, also undefeated with 3 wins, 2 draws. 11 points from their opening 5 matches. El Paso Locomotive with 3 wins, 1 draw, 10 points in 2nd place, undefeated. So it's San Antonio and El Paso undefeated from the Western Conference. Hartford and Tampa undefeated from the Eastern Conference. Only 4 teams remaining undefeated. Really, really interesting. Not the 4 teams that you guess, but still, that's the case it is. Orange County in 3rd place with 8 points, tied with Sacramento. In 5th place, you have Oakland Roots with 7 points. New Mexico in 6th place with 6 points. And then Colorado FC Tulsa and Lexington tied for 7th with 5 points, albeit though FC Tulsa having a game in hand over Colorado and Lexington. Bottom of the Western Conference, is Las Vegas Lights with 4 points from 5 matches. 1 win, 1 draw. Their win coming across Monterey Bay, which we knew it was going to be a huge game when it happened. Monterey Bay find themselves at the bottom of the Western Conference with still no wins to start the season. 2 points from the opening 5 contests. Phoenix, though, not much better. Still don't have a win themselves, but they do have 3 draws, which gives them that just a little bit of an edge over Monterey Bay. Top scorers, so a lot on 4 goals at the moment. Look no further than Corey Bennett, Rubio Rubin, Darren Smith, and Amando Moreno, but all on 4 goals. Corey Bennett, though, does have 3 penalty goals to his name there as he leads or is tied for the golden boot to start off the campaign. So that's how things look in the championship standings. Real quick, we'll talk next matches, then cap it off. Orange County will take on San Antonio on Wednesday, April 8th at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. On Friday, April 10th, Loudoun United host Louisville City at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Saturday for the boys, Saturday for the USL Championship. First game starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Detroit host Sporting Jacks. Then at 7 p.m., 4 games taking place, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Hartford hosts El Paso. Lexington hosts Rhode Island. Indy hosts Monterey Bay. And Brooklyn hosts Charleston. Then at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Tampa Bay hosts Oakland Roots. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, FC Tulsa hosts Orange County. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, we'll have San Antonio hosting Miami. And the 2 night contests on Saturday will be Phoenix Rising hosting New Mexico at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, and then 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, you'll have Las Vegas hosting Sacramento. And those, however, is the... Oh, I just got to take a deep breath here. Lots to talk about. Oh, but hey, that is the championship at the moment. Thanks for making it to the end of the episode. A little bit later than usual, just because I was getting back from a little bit of the Easter vacation side of things and recording on a Monday, believe it or not, which is really nice. But yeah, lots to catch up on, and we'll hear each other more on when we record next time around. Thanks as always, everyone. Talk USL, and yeah, have a good week. Bye for now.